Yeah,
What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay.
Can't hear us yet, can they?
I think we're live. I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think we got this.
We got this. All right.
We're good? All right, he's not paying attention.
Who knows?
Well,
we're
hey,
probably good.
yeah, we're good. We're good. Well, welcome to the stream, everybody. Got a lot of news this particular video this particular live stream, because we have CES coming up and a lot of fun announcements to get to. So I'll just read the headlines, man, and we'll jump right into it because there's a lot to cover.
There sure is.
I mean, there's a ton.
There's a ton.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. Okay, so like I said, CES is all digital this year.
Completely virtual.
Sony is gearing up for an epic launch in 2021. Some news coming up on that. TCL is making some big headway with their next-gen mini LED.
Yes, that they are. Sounds like they've heard of this mini LED technology. They're intrigued.
Yes.
They're jumping in.
They're jumping in. Well, they have been in.
They have. That's true.
They have. They're really anyways, we'll get into that later.
That's true, yeah.
They will be They are pioneering that way. Mm-hmm. But we'll talk about where that fits into everything later because I don't know, man. I'm not 100% sold, but I'm not the only one that cares. So
Sure.
what do you got for us today, Matt?
So yeah, we've got some improvements in quality taking place from the jump to 8K. So we obviously have 8K being kind of the major news out there as far as development for TVs. 8K is kind of the future, and everybody sees it coming. The question is, how relevant is 8K going to be?
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference between 8K and 4K, or what content is going to be available, or how applicable is it going to be? So there's some interesting questions. Obviously, we're on the forefront of that 8K technology, but again, the question is, will it matter?
Will it matter? You got anything from CES from us?
From CES?
For us. Wow,
For
I
us.
can't even. I need to talk.
For us, from us. Well, I mean, we know there's some crazy tech launches going on, of course. You mean about Warzone? No, about CES.
I don't know.
I mean, there's all sorts of good stuff to cover here. Where do we begin? I mean, we got the mini LEDs from TLC, like you mentioned, and we got the 8K and 4K leaps there, and obviously we got some new products coming out, like the pardon me here, the Sensei glove.
Yes.
Yes. The
We'll,
Sensei glove.
we'll jump in, man,
Yeah.
because we got our headlines. We'll start talking.
So much. There's so much, guys.
Dude,
yeah.
we've got 2 pages this week, man, and they're both full. It's just a ton of stuff to cover. So we'll just jump right into it. Sony has launched or announced the launch of their new lineup. And it's pretty sweet looking. So I'm with a lot of, I'm ingrained in the TV world. And this last year we saw, obviously, a lot happened in the world. Some things probably stifled what companies wanted to do, specifically Sony. All the major TV brands probably had a lot they wanted to get to this year, 2020, that they just didn't. So, for example, like the A9G from Sony didn't update. It didn't update to a new model. It stayed the same from 2018 to 2019 to through 2020. So those 2 full years,
Right.
they had that same TV. It was their Master Series, great TV, but they didn't really have anything else launched. They didn't add HDMI 2.1 to a lot of their TVs.
Right.
They really didn't do much. So what they did, man, is they launched this new series of TVs with their XR processor.
XR processor,
Yes.
right. This is a big deal.
Yeah. So, obviously, there's still a lot to know about these processors per se, but they're really kind of taking AI to the next level. And I forget, they call it some sort of cognitive, what is the word they used, man? Because it's like they're on it. I want to look this up.
Some cognitive intelligence.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Cognitive intelligence. So, I don't know what that means per se, but they're basically boasting that it's like it's more human developed, right? Or like more, what's the right word? Natural than artificial.
Right.
So they're trying to go away from the term AI. So artificial intelligence is supposed to be cognitive intelligence.
Right.
Like it's just
My take on it was that what they did was they tried to reimagine kind of not just the TV platform itself, but the fact that human beings are the ones to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
We're the ones perceiving all this.
Yeah.
So if they could design a TV and a processor, moreover, to kind of more look at it from a human's perspective, to optimize it for human beings watching it.
Yeah.
Right. So what they're utilizing there to certain extent, we don't know exactly how they did this.
Right.
It's kind of a proprietary technology, but they're using focal points, right? Focal point technology, which there's been quite a bit of research in that, and then interlaying that with their other technology in the processor to be able to effectively give it more optimized scenes to where your eyes would naturally gravitate, right?
Gotcha.
So if you see a
I see
scene
what
of
you're
a
saying.
picture
Yeah,
of
yeah.
a moving train and a woman standing in front of it,
Yeah.
your eyes are going to gravitate toward her face if it's in focus.
right.
So sharpen and enhance the things that are naturally in focus to our eyes.
So it's kind of like, and I cover, I should say we're covering this in a video right now.
Yes.
It's kind of like gearing more towards dynamic HDR, which is real-time capability of updating the display's brightness, contrast level, color,
Right.
based on the content that you're watching.
Exactly.
And furthermore, even in the environment that you're in, because if you're in a low lit environment, it may not brighten it as much as if you're in a very heavily lit environment. So I don't know, maybe it has something to do with that, because dynamic HDR is a pretty big technology that's coming to light. And even though it's been used, it's getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it has anything to do with that. I don't know.
Makes one curious, doesn't it?
But
Yes.
so they have J models. Now, in the announcement, the models they announced were the overseas models. For us here in the United States, it's a little bit different. When they do like a 90J, it is the 900J
Right.
here. When it's the I think they used Z. Was that the name? Z9J?
Yep.
Is that what they did?
Z9, Z8, I believe.
Yeah. So when they do the C90 J, that's probably the Z9J here, and it replaces the A9G. And they've done this all the way back. I mean, really far. So
It's Sony's MO.
yeah, it's their MO. So those are their model numbers. But 4 new TVs, I think 4,
5.
5.
Yes,
Oh
you got
yeah,
5.
because you have the 8. What they call the 80J, you have the 90J,
Yeah.
the 950J or 95J, sorry.
right.
You have the A8J or A80J, whatever they call it, and then the A90J.
Precisely. Yep.
Do you think all of them are going to have HDMI 2.1?
Good
Or
question.
the 800 probably, the 80 probably won't because it's only 60 hertz.
I would say the one budget version is not going to have it. I think
Right.
every other one is going to have it. Yeah, because they all have the XR technology built
Yeah.
in, the new XR processor. But
Yeah.
I would bet you that's the one kind of corner that they cut there in order to save costs on that.
For
count.
sure.
I
Yeah.
think that's reasonable.
Well, and they made a huge presence in the release video. If you guys haven't checked out the release video, we'll post it down below a little bit later for you guys to watch. Great video they did. A lot of stuff that they're going to be covering and showcasing. So hopefully we get an opportunity to maybe ask some questions and get some more details. But they really highlighted gaming in that video. So I have a feeling that they're all going to be considered gaming too, which is phenomenal to me because I have an older Sony. It's not even that old, honestly. It's not old.
Right.
And it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the picture quality is on point.
Super on point, and that's what the Bravia line has always been known for. I mean,
Yeah.
the Sony Bravia line
Yeah.
has always been that staple for very impressive visual quality, even impressive audio quality.
Yeah.
That's just kind of been their go-to move.
Their go-to.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So we kind of expect nothing less, and honestly, being that next and latest generation, and then also incorporating a newer processor, you kind of expect that they're gonna really,
Ramp it up.
yeah, exactly.
Well, watch out, LG and Samsung.
Indeed.
Right now, the CX is like the LG CX is like the prime TV to get.
It's crushing it.
And you know what's crazy, man, is like Sony released silently this 48-inch or 49-inch OLED.
That's right. Yeah.
HDMI 2.1, variable refresh rate. No one's talked about it.
Completely
Absolutely.
under the radar.
The reason why is it's $1,800 for a for bleep bleep. I'm gonna soften that one.
Yeah.
It's $1,800 for a 49-inch TV. So,
Right.
I mean, most people aren't going to go get it. The A9S is what it was. It was pretty sweet. It was sweet.
Amazing TV, undoubtedly.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It was phenomenal TV. I bet. Yeah. So
Watch drop a monitor, though.
it's a lot. Dude. You could buy like 3 monitors with that and be happy.
That's kind of the problem. Yeah, if that weren't the case, then it may be a better buy or an easier sell. But
Yeah, I can kind of swallow the $1,300 for the C10, $1,400 because when you start to get into wide format monitors, I know we're getting off topic, guys.
Sure.
I'm sorry, but you start to get into wide format monitors and you're looking at $1,000.
right.
So it at least makes sense, but double 1,000, that's pretty rough. So, anyways, I'm excited, man. I'm gonna dive in, see if we can't get some questions answered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you brought us some cool tech from CES, some interesting launches to say the least.
Interesting launches, yes,
Yes,
that is true.
yeah.
That is true. We have products so known as the AfterShokz Open Comm
Yeah.
Bluetooth headset.
Yeah,
So this thing's kind of intriguing. Does Bluetooth 5.0. Let me check my notes here. It's got the NFC pairing as well.
Okay,
we have
that's
a
nice.
multi-function button on the side here.
yeah.
So from everything
that
I
web
can
page?
gather here, we got a visual for that. I think we do. We might.
Sure.
We should. But anyway, it's yeah.
Yeah,
There we
there
have
you
it.
go. We got it.
There we
Yeah,
have it. There's our visual, guys. Feel free to take a look for reference there.
Yep.
But yeah, from everything that I've heard and from every review that I've read on it, the sound quality is excellent. The phone call quality, the mic quality, is all excellent.
Yep.
So you're looking at just great performance across the board and completely wireless. And again, I mentioned the NFC pairing.
Yeah.
So some impressive features. Pardon me. I believe it's 16 hours worth of talk time and then 8 hours worth of listening time.
Yeah.
So just all around kind of a good, compelling little Bluetooth headset.
For sure.
That could really be well utilized by a business professional or by a gamer or by, somebody who's kind of somewhere in between.
Yeah, mobile gaming, something like that
Right.
would be good.
Right, for sure. I could see somebody who does streaming be appreciating
The
that.
one thing that I thought was super unique, and number one in the company, Aftershock, big player in CES. They've really brought some innovative products over the last couple of years. They actually have awards from 2018, 2019, 2020, and now 2021. They've gotten awards for like innovation each year because of the technology of it. And the fact that it actually uses vibrations into the bone here, rather than rather than just doing regular sound, they do vibrations, which gives you the sound. But apparently, it's really, I haven't tried it out.
Pretty unbelievable. Yeah, it does sound like quite a leap of technology, not having to have the speaker actually physically going into your ear in order to kind of throw those sound vibrations right at your eardrum, but rather surpassing that.
Yeah, surpassing that. The one thing they talk about, which is really cool, and we covered it in our latest video on the E25 Pros, is having the ambient aware feature. You don't get noise canceling with it.
Sure.
But the ambient aware, being able to hear your surroundings, is pretty big. If you're in like a work environment, if you're walking around town, if you're out getting some lunch, you need to be able to hear what's going on. So.
Absolutely.
Anyways.
Especially people in the city, they're walking around town, they got a lot of traffic, you got a lot of stuff going on. You don't want to be in a situation where you have no idea what's going on around you and you're that person that's just staring down at your cell phone, you can't hear anything.
It's not safe either.
It's not safe. No.
Like you need to be able to hear things going by. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did do a little bit of research into that.
Good stuff, yeah.
Yes.
Some intriguing product. Now the next one up, very intriguing as
Yes,
well.
very intriguing.
This is
Oh
the
yeah. Ooh.
Sensei glove. We got a visual for the Sensei glove.
Oh yeah. Well, it's actually I think a video that we have.
Okay.
And it's freaking cool, man.
Videos are cool too.
It's cool.
And it is a cool product for sure.
Did you check out the whole video?
So I did check it out.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I was impressed by it. I got to say, it was pretty wild to look at it from the perspective of like, this is kind of the emerging technology and what is going to be done with this. I feel like is really exciting because they're kind of laying the foundation for a framework that doesn't exist yet, right? So the ability to create not only virtual reality environments, but the ability to feel those environments and actually pick something up in that environment and have what they call their haptic feedback. Where we understand haptic feedback and the technology and the basis of it, but this is kind of a new formulation of it to where you're seeing it through that virtual reality space and feeling it in your physical form through your hands. And so you can feel that difference in the squeezing pressure or picking something up or using a tool. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do with this technology. Very expensive at the moment.
Oh yeah.
No,
it's funny. The email I got from them was like, well, they're modestly priced it, between 5,000 and you can get them up to about 40.
Sure,
Maybe
yeah.
I'm not allowed to say that. I don't know, but
I think they're saying the industry standard is more in line with that. So
5,000,
theirs is
45,000.
very reasonable compared
Yeah,
to
very
something like
reasonable.
that. And that's per glove, mind you.
yeah. That's per glove.
Yeah, this is not a set.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. This is not a set.
You might want a set.
You might want to say,
Yeah,
for sure.
Not all of us have two hands.
Yeah. But you brought up an interesting point before ask you that. Did you watch Ready Player One? Oh, you haven't watched it?
I haven't.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
no,
Okay.
I'm in that terrible category.
Yeah,
of
no,
people.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's really not like it's only interesting because like of emerging technologies to me. Like that style of movie probably isn't something I would normally watch, just because it's almost like
What's the word?
oh my gosh, I can't think of the word, guys.
Escaping it. Yeah.
What's that other movie that's based in the future, super popular? It was a remake recently. Very, very popular. I'm terrible with movies.
Oh, yes, right.
You'll think
oh
of
my
it.
goodness, right. It's the Harrison Ford movie was the original.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Ryan Gosling. Okay.
Yes,
We
you
got
guys
this.
know.
Yes.
Put it down in the comments below. What is the
Comment
name
down
of
below.
it?
What is that name of it?
Rachel's watching
yeah.
right
All I
now,
can think
like,
of is
God damn it,
Roadrunner. No, it's not Roadrunner. Or time. It's not Time Cop. No, not Time Cop.
Not
something
Robo-
Runner. Something
Blade Runner.
racing. Blade Runner.
What
there
the
we
heck
go.
am I doing? Blade
don't know.
Runner.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Blade Runner-esque movie, but made for kids.
There we go.
Very much like Blade Runner, made for kids, but they have exactly this type of technology in it where you get like different parts of your suit and you can feel what's going on in this virtual world. You can get basically you can be put in a harness and run on like a treadmill
Right.
while you're in this, and you feel the feedback. You feel, like the pain and all that other stuff. It's like it takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
So anyways, it just made me think of that. But
Of course,
you
yeah.
brought up the realistic use for today, which you like. I don't know. I'll let you present that because that was actually a good take on
Oh,
it.
sure. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously somewhat theoretical right now, but the idea would be that you can have virtual training sessions. So you could actually have somebody learning to work with tools, advanced tools that would normally be super expensive, or tools that could be dangerous, or learning a procedure or process, something like a pilot, for instance. It could really revolutionize, the ability to do a virtual reality training. And really make it so true to life that you're just immersed in that environment, and it becomes as if you were doing that in real life, on the job training.
Yeah, and it's huge for, like you said, anything that's high risk, that you risk getting hurt, you risk, a lot of money. Like if you're working in a place where you're working on very expensive materials, having that training period all virtual, learning before you get in, huge. It's
Exactly.
a massive deal. I mean, obviously there's entertainment value there.
Sure.
So there would be, to some degree, it's going to get to a point where it's, inexpensive enough that we get to enjoy it as consumers, maybe for, VR games or, absolutely for VR games,
For
but
sure, that's the future.
simulation games as well. So pretty cool. I think that would be fun. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be awesome. The possibilities are almost limitless when you think about that. I could just imagine being able to put on a VR headset and having it be compatible with just any other headset out there.
Right.
Any independent headset, having it connect with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and then being able to sit there and feel the steering wheel of a race car as I drive an Indy car at what feels like 200 miles an hour, and legitimately have to fight that steering wheel back, even though it's all virtual.
With the right tension and
Exactly.
That'd
That
be
could
pretty cool.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that'd be cool. How much room would you need though? Like, because if I put on a VR headset and tried running around and I'd be all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like the games.
I'm that person on YouTube that's like, that's
Goes
like
right into the wall, cracks right into
the
the
TV's
TV.
there. I got the big TV. I just run straight into it. Bow. Yeah, I would be that person.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna have to get creative for sure with the environments being able to change and adapt around you, and you being able to have limited motion, being able to affect your motion in that virtual space, to where it doesn't require you to have to go running, or they're gonna have to implement these much smaller versions of basically like a treadmill.
Yeah.
That essentially allows you to do a
Oh,
360
geez.
degree.
No, see, hey, we can't
Yeah.
go there. Now we're
Uh-oh.
talking too far ahead here.
We can't
Scaring
give away
me.
any ideas here. Yeah.
Okay, so even though this was all like supposed to be interesting tech, the next one is a little out there in left field. It's the Nomad Plug.
The Nomad Plug.
The Nomad Plug.
Yes.
I'm just reading this because I was interested. It's kind of a weird It's a weird gadget, man.
Yeah, tell us
Like
about
super
it.
weird. Yeah, tell us about this
What is
Nomad Plug.
Nomad Plug you speak of.
Yeah. Well, we're just covering weird tech from
Yeah.
CES, and
Yeah.
we've probably got something we can put up on the screen here in a second. But essentially, this Nomad Plug, it looks really cool. It's like new age tech. It's like the size. It looks to be the size of like a candy bar, and essentially it's a like a universal plug. What do they call those? Essentially, you can go around the world with it. You can travel the world. You can use it to charge all your devices. You can
Nice,
plug
yeah.
it in. And it's funny because their marketing tactic is, if you look down at like a power strip, power strip's ugly, it's terrible, it's clunky, it's chunky.
Sure.
But their solution doesn't really solve the problem. Like it's still only you can plug one thing in at a time.
Right.
And you would still need an extension cable if you needed to go further away from the wall, and you would still need a multi-plug if you needed to. So it's just kind of weird marketing how it worked. But I thought it was interesting, just because it looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe it does something that I don't know about, but essentially just it converts all the different electricity all around the world. It works in like 47 or like a ridiculous amount of countries. I just thought it was weird, man. So I wanted to throw it in there.
Weird and interesting, a little different, and could be helpful for somebody. Obviously, not a whole lot of traveling going on right now, I'm sure, but
Right.
people who do normally like to travel or visit other countries, and maybe have had to worry about that before, had to worry about charging cables and blocks, and what am I going to do, and how do I make sure that my device that I bought in the States is going to work over here in Australia, or going to work in, Beijing. You never know.
Yeah. No, that's a huge thing. I mean, that is huge. The ones they sell are like this big too. They're like big bricks. They have all these
giant
little adapter plugs you put in, and they are a pain. I will give them that. They definitely, like, if I was going to go buy one of the, like a version of this, it would be that one. It would be the Nomad Plug.
Good deal. And what does something like the Nomad Plug run?
I have no idea. It was tough. Yeah. I have no idea. I mean, I would imagine they can't really charge much more than like $70-$80. But if they, like, just based on the size and what it does, it shouldn't $50, you know?
Yeah.
That's realistic. That's what most others cost, unless you buy off Amazon through like third-party seller. Then you're probably looking at like $30.
Sure.
So it just kind of depends on where you go. But yeah, $30. It didn't say in their ad. Honestly, they were just launching it. So
Gotcha. Okay. They're being coy.
they're being coy, being very coy at CES 2021.
Between $9.99 and $99.99.
Yes, great value.
Exceedingly good. Yes.
And depending on which range you fall into.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how many plugs you need. Maybe there'll be multiple models.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because like I said, their marketing was a lot different than what the actual product was. So it's kind of weird. I don't know if maybe there's a little barrier there from for language. Maybe because they're obviously out of a different country. Maybe Chinese, another country. Or originated out of a different country. So they probably translated or had somebody translate into English. So I don't know. Maybe it was a little weird. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we're at the point in the video where we get to look at viewer questions. I get questions up and down all throughout the month, all throughout the week, all throughout the day. Some of them are more popular than others, and some are kind of ridiculous, I'll be honest.
It runs the gamut.
It runs the gamut. But a lot of them are fun, and they're good questions, honestly. Like, we get some really good questions here. Stuff that I probably wouldn't ask unless somebody else had asked, you know? Like,
no doubt. You guys are smart people. You ask good questions. We appreciate
yeah,
it.
that's great questions. So this is the point. Hey, we highlight those good questions or interesting questions or popular questions in this part of the live stream every week. So if you have a great question and something that you just don't have the answer to, you want to make us work for it, ask the question. If you get enough upvotes or it's popular enough that it's being asked many times or it's just a very unique question, there's a very good chance that it's going to be on this live video. You're going to be able to watch it and get an answer real time. And then you can come back and watch it later if you need the answer again. So starting with our first viewer question, it actually leads into more of a theme because there's been a string of videos recently, not just myself, and I'll keep it quick, but I'll start from the beginning. About 6 months ago, I released a video with the Kraken X53. I
Yes,
made a
you did.
full video about this again later, just like a week or two ago. But people had kind of been asking the question of, after I posted that video, do I mount with the pumps up? Do I mount my radiator with the pumps or the pipes at the top, the tubes at the top, or do I mount it with the tubes at the bottom, moving up? Now, any of you PC users out there, people who've been in that industry, into that hobby for a while, you understand the question. The question that I was asked is it bad to mount the pump with the tubes up? And the answer is no. I know there was a video from Gamers Nexus that talked about a few different things related to that topic, right? And basically said don't mount in certain ways. But check out the video I did a week ago about my response to that and why I will still mount with the tubes at the top. In fact, I have a video coming out very soon with a 360 millimeter all-in-one cooler where the tubes will be at the top. And I urge you to watch it and comment on that video because it is absolutely 100% correct to do that. It does not matter if the tubes are on top as long as you have the right clearance. Watch the video, you know what I'm talking about. So I just want to answer that, lay that to rest because there's been tons. I keep getting that question over and over and over again, even though I've answered it probably 30, 40, 50 times on comments. So so much that I made a video out of it, man.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's when you know you got a lot of comments, a lot of questions.
Yeah, when I get a question that much about it, I made a video just to be able to copy and paste
Right.
when I get asked that question. So I did that. I've had a few people watch it, which is pretty cool. I'm happy about it. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. Yes, sir.
Moving on,
down to
man.
the next question.
So I'm going to form this in a question to you, Matt.
Oh, dear. All right. Yes.
Okay.
do
Do
ask.
you know
Yeah.
what display or what HDMI has that DisplayPort doesn't have?
I'm going to say it's got...
It's not physical. It's not a
Right. Not a physical thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it have the ability to transmit HD video and audio at the same time?
kind of. So you're going
Kind of.
you're going.
All right.
It's not okay. So the real answer is that's not true because they both do that. However, so the question I've got, and it's a great question. I love the question. I think it's perfect. But somebody was like, hey, why is there no DisplayPort on next-gen consoles? And there's two real reasons why. The first reason, count them, right? The first real reason is, and I guess the better question would have been, do you have a monitor or a TV at home? But the first real answer to that question is like 70 to 80% of console gamers are using TVs. They're
Right.
not using gaming monitors.
Right.
And TVs ultimately, here's the second part to that answer. TVs ultimately have HDMI because it's a better source for audio.
For
It
sure,
is
yeah.
hands down a better source. Fight me. I'm just playing. No,
Yeah.
I
Here
will
they
not
come.
fight.
Oh dear.
No, I'm
The
just kidding.
floodgates have been opened.
Yeah, they're open. No, I'm kidding. But it is true. It's totally true.
It's just better. It's just more efficient at doing that job altogether.
It's more efficient. There's more technology built into it. Developing wise, like there's more audio developed using HDMI than there is DisplayPort.
Right.
It's a superior cable for audio.
Right.
It's just hands down is what it is. So inevitably, that means when you have a product like a TV that's built around audio, like, home theaters, audio, video, all that
Right.
good stuff.
Right.
It is what it is. Like it has to be HDMI, not DisplayPort. So that kind of sums up the second answer to that question, which is, of course they're not going to have DisplayPort. HDMI is better for
HDMI
their
is a
purpose.
Better option for that purpose.
For their purpose.
Right.
However, I do believe that it would be nice to have DisplayPort on a next-gen console.
Be
It'd
cool
sweet.
too.
It'd
Yeah.
be sweet.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see that happen.
Yeah.
Challenge next gen console creators. But then again, like you pointed out, most people are still using a TV. They're kind of
Yeah.
they've got their entertainment center, and that's where they do it all.
Yeah.
And so it just makes sense for that.
Yeah, hands down. I mean, you're not going to go buy a gaming monitor if you're just a casual gamer, that has family split screen game night.
Right.
You're not going to go do it. And that's probably, 40% of the people buying an Xbox, especially over the lifespan of that Xbox. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's the same family that goes and buys a Switch for their kids. They're going to get the Xbox for the home, the Switch for the, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. What do we got next here?
We'll fly through the next two questions, man, because they're good questions, but these could all be like their own dedicated video. So I won't spend too much time on them. The next question, great question, is G-Sync the same as FreeSync?
They're both syncs.
They're both syncs, man.
What's the difference?
Yeah. What is the difference? Ooh.
I mean, the letter, one's free, one's expensive. What is the difference?
That's hilarious. I mean, that is the truth, dude.
Oh, yeah.
So
Irony.
G-Sync is more expensive. Typically, the monitors with G-Sync on them are more expensive. The graphics cards are more expensive. But AMD is not free. So technically speaking, they are different. It's just different how that they operate. It's different how they are developed, so to speak, right? But they all operate off of the same technology, which is variable refresh rate. And typically speaking, the two different competing technologies, if a monitor is certified G-Sync, 99% of the time, it's also going to work with FreeSync, with AMD products. Maybe not 99, but quite often.
Oftentimes, yeah.
And it's the other way around is also coming to fruition as well. So we're starting to see, and we saw as recently as just a year or two ago that NVIDIA is able to utilize FreeSync. Why? Because they're both off of variable refresh rate, and it's essentially it's kind of like HDR and Dolby Vision and all the other different platforms that are out there for HDR. They're very, very similar. So answers that question.
There you go. Yes, it does.
Now, let me ask you this, Matt. You spend I know. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this, man. Yeah. Oh, my God. I'm so stressed.
It's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be super tough.
It's taking forever to ask.
So you spend you go out, you buy an Xbox Series X, and knowing that it's a 4K HDR gaming machine, do you feel like it would be wasted if you had to run it at 1440p all the time? Or do you think that's a good enough jump from 1080?
Good question. I would say it is a good enough jump to where I would still be impressed by it.
Yeah.
But I would always be, I think, inherently a little let down by the fact that the true capability of the system was 4K, and then I was always being limited or throttled to a certain extent. Yeah. The same thing has always frustrated me with cable, as the technology of TVs has gotten better and better and better, and they're capable of 2K and then 4K. You still have cable companies basically outputting a signal of no better than 1080p. And you're lucky it's even that good. And most often it's being converted and then upscaled and then upscaled again. And so you get kind of a process where it really degrades the potential, the full potential of that technology. I feel like part of me would always be a little frustrated that I wasn't able to utilize the full aspect of that technology. But if I could, perhaps once in a while, or with, doing other things or playing specific titles with it, then I think I'd be happy with it.
Yeah. Well, it's a great question from a viewer, basically asking does the Xbox Series X cap out at 1440, 120 hertz because there's a performance loss once you hit 4K because it's not as powerful? And do you feel like you're wasting the Xbox Series X by playing at 1440p, 120 hertz? So is essentially asking, what's the sweet spot? If we're not able to get full 4K at 120 frames per second without going and buying a brand new TV while we wait for a new monitor to come out, is it worth dropping the $500 on the Series X? Or should I just go grab a Series S and be happy for the time being because it's going to cost less than a brand new TV?
Sure.
Which I was like, wow, dude, that's a great question. Should you get the Series S and maybe turn around and sell it in 6 months? I mean, are we actually going to have inventory in 6 months?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, like $299, man. Go get a Series S, play at 1440p, 120 hertz.
Right.
If you don't have a nice 4K TV to play on, like I would still use mine for 4K HDR and Dolby. I'd use mine for all these different things. But if you're just looking to game and that's it, like you're not doing anything else, and you play like first-person shooter games.
Right. Frame rate hugely important to you. It's got to be fast.
Yeah, then done, man. Yeah, I would say go
it.
get a Series S, $299. Use your 1440p HDMI 2.0 monitor, and 6 months, sell it and go buy a Series X when a new monitor comes out, or keep it until you feel like you want to upgrade again.
Sure.
I thought that was a great question, so I want to throw it up there and thank whoever put that up. I forget who it is. But thank you for doing that, because that's actually a great question.
Absolutely. Very nice. All right.
Whew.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you to do your next topic.
Oh, sure. I'm going to dive right in then.
Yeah,
Okay. So, as I hinted on earlier,
Yes.
the benefits of 8K. So everybody's talking about 8K. You have TVs now being produced that are 8K. Quad the ratio.
It's insane.
4K. I mean, that's nuts, right? So the question is, though, how beneficial is that? Or when can you see that? How do you appreciate that, right? Well, it turns out that kind of similar, you could use the analogy of looking at somebody's hair. So if you're standing directly behind somebody and you look at the back of their head, you can see all the individual strands of hair, right? It's all very clear if you're standing directly behind them. As you back up just a few feet, the detail, that fine detail of each one of those strands of hair becomes lost, and it just is gone, and it just becomes, okay, that's their hair. You back up even further and you lose even more detail. So the reality is, with the technology of 8K, which it is vastly impressive with the amount, that much more pixels that they're cramming into the same amount of space, the real benefit isn't noticeable or translatable unless you're very close to the TV. And actually, so much so that, as I wrote in my notes here, gosh, you'd have to be like, what is it?
Like
for a 55 inch, check this out. This will kind of blow your mind. For a 55 inch, and again, this is for optimal circumstance, for optimal viewing. So to get the most benefit out of 8K versus 4K. For a 55 inch, the optimal seating distance would be 1.7 feet.
Jeez.
So
you're like, hey, how's it going?
Close, don't you think?
Yeah.
You know that old adage, that old cartoon where you got the kid sitting in front of the giant TV and he's like this close to it.
Yeah, you literally can't even see. You can't even see what's going on, because 55 is pretty big. If you were a foot, you wouldn't be able to see.
No, exactly. So it creates kind of this unique paradigm, because obviously there is going to be more detail, right? That's apparent, but in order to actually be able to distinguish that detail, you have to be very, very, very close. So there's going to be a sweet spot there that you have to try to find. You have to try to get into where you're kind of in between that zone, so you're not as far back as, let's say 10 feet, but maybe you're at 5 feet in order to actually really see a noticeable difference. And
I do have an argument.
You do, eh?
I do have an argument to that. So here's my argument.
What do you got?
And this is where I think it makes sense for 8K, because, like, I agree with you, man. I think it's a bunch of nonsense, and we've been, like, to a degree, it's nonsense. I think it's really freaking cool. But there's no way I'm going to go spend $5,000 on a 75-inch 8K versus a 4K OLED.
Exactly. No,
To be honest
not
with you.
going to happen. Hands down. It's just not that impressive. It's just not that mind-blowing. I'm sorry.
It's not. Now, having seen LG's 8K OLED, it is beyond, like, amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you stand near it and you watch their 8K content on it, you are physically almost in that space. Like, it is wild how good it is. But here's my argument. And keep in mind, that TV's $20,000.
Ooh, is that it?
$20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That seems like a bargain, I'd say.
That's a pretty good bargain. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to pick two up.
For sure.
Yeah, just two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We're not even going to have
sponsor us on one of those. We will happily review it.
Yes, if you'd like to sponsor us on one of those, please hit the super chat button.
Sony, if you're listening,
Sony,
open.
yeah, no, that one's LG.
Yeah,
Sony's,
excuse me. Yes, LG. Pardon me.
Sony does have their 8Ks, and they're nice. Like, they're the $5,000 8K.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
Not the $20,000.
No,
not the $30,000.
Right.
But anyways, I think where it makes sense is larger TVs, and that's what we're seeing is more and more people buying larger TVs.
Sure.
Like 8 years ago when I bought one of my other TVs, 46 was a fairly big TV. Like it wasn't huge, it wasn't considered big,
Sure.
but it was like above the average size. The average size was like 38 or 40 inch, so it was like
doubt.
6 inches larger.
Right. Right.
It was still considered a large TV. Today, a large TV, like most people buy a 65, maybe 55.
Sure.
A large TV is 75.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
what's considered.
Isn't that
large.
amazing that the times have changed that greatly to where you used to have the average size of a big TV being around
Yeah.
40 inches, and now that has jumped up to well
75.
above 65, if not above 75.
Yeah, that's a large TV. Like big TV, the word big, it would still be 65, but
Sure.
So that's where 8K makes sense, is like 75 and up, because you're taking essentially your 4K and you're shrinking it back down to what we used to watch. We used to watch like a 55 would be great with 4K. That's what I have.
Right.
So you freaking blow that up to 75 inches, you have to shrink those pixels back down.
Yeah, you sure do, and that's where the benefit is, like you say, because you
Yeah.
have to be further back in order to appreciate it for a TV that's that big anyway.
Yeah.
But if it is that big, then you're not going to have to be
A
know
foot
what I
and a
mean?
half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you could
That's the
probably be like
benefit.
5 feet.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. The bigger the TV, the further back you can get, and still actually reap the benefits of that
Yeah.
extra detail.
Yeah.
And you will be able to see it. Now, the thing is, if you don't have great sight, if your vision is not, your visual acuity is not very fine,
Yeah.
very good, you're not going to notice the difference. And most people, even in a double-blind study, even half the people in that study didn't notice the difference. You know, some people
That's
rated
pretty wild.
4K even higher than 8K.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, yes. It was only actually the smallest group of participants that were actually able to distinguish the 8K being better than the 4K, and the most prevalent of that group was the people sitting the closest as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
not the test group that was 10 feet back, but the test group sitting at 4 feet.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's kind of like, unless you're fully going to utilize it for its intended purposes, like it's pointless to go get one.
Right.
You're getting enough out of 4K, and in fact, we're still developing 4K to a point where it's going to get better before
Exactly.
we get to 8K. Like it
Exactly.
is going to be, it's just now the flagship resolution that everyone is producing under. So over the next like 3 years, we're going to see so much more 8K come out.
True. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it took this
4K.
long for that much
Is it
4K.
4K?
Yeah, you said 8K.
Okay, I
but
meant
yeah,
4K.
that much 4K.
I meant
it's taken this
4K.
long for that much 4K to be developed and to be integrated, and for all the platforms to be able to switch and upgrade to that.
Yeah.
And for even streaming services and everything, people to kind of catch up to that technology, as is often the case. Technology progresses, and it progresses very rapidly, and you have kind of these other systems in place that have to play catch up to that. So yeah. These are the things that happen. you know?
These are things that happen.
Yes, yes. But the 8K is very
Interesting.
exciting still. I love the idea of it and where it's going. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, I believe that all of the new Sonys that we were referencing earlier, those are all going to be 8K resolution and or equivalent to being QLEDs.
So they are QLED. They call it triluminous display.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be 8Ks. I think they have their Z series 8K, which is the Z8H.
Right.
It's a decent TV. Now maybe they jump into 8K somewhere down the line for those model numbers, but I'm about 99% sure they'll stay with 4K on those. I would imagine. The Z8H, or did you see something I didn't?
Well,
Really, I would be blown away if they actually.
yeah.
Maybe I missed something on that actual announcement.
I think you might have.
Uh-oh.
I think you might have, sir.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because they have some pretty compelling features for
Oh
sure.
my gosh! Now I have to
Yeah.
look this up.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to look this
Oh
up
my
here.
god! Oh my! Just give me no. Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait. No, they say 4K right here. Are you sure? 4K OLED.
Oh, yes. Okay.
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 They are probably, but that's the A8. Maybe they're doing.
With the A9. Uh-oh. Wait a minute, though.
No,
The A9.
get out. Are they doing
gotta
that?
see
Is
the
that the
A9.
8K? We
I
might
think
have
so.
to. We're gonna.
I think, because 3 of them are LCDs.
Okay.
2
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them
yeah.
are OLEDs.
Yes.
They specifically mentioned 8K resolution.
In one of the OLEDs.
Yes. Yes. Now, it's not going to be through their Bravia Core service that they're going to offer, but that is going to support 4K, which is
Okay.
also very exciting.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. But yeah, verify this. I want to say, though, that at least I believe 2 of these options were 8K TVs, and I think that was, of course, the OLED options versus the
I am really
LCD.
pushing here.
Yeah.
Maybe they have an announcement at the end that there is 8K. Because I'll be honest, man, I got like 3/4 through the video, and I kind of gave up. I was like, oh yeah. They're just announcing their next year models and da 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 da.
Right.
And they're talking about the features.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that. I'm not gonna spend too much time looking into it, but I kind of wanted to know,
I think they're 8K. I gotta say, I think they're 8K.
They probably have one that is.
Oh, I think
because
so, at least.
They buy all their panels from LG. So it would make sense that they are now that LG has launched their 8K.
Exactly. Yep.
They are going to buy that 8K panel, put their product on it.
Well, they for sure are if TCL is getting in the game.
Well, TCL. Okay, let's talk about
Then
TCL.
they know they got to make an 8K TV.
Let's talk about TCL. So, for those who don't know, TCL actually, the reason they got so big in this industry, they are the second largest producer of TVs in the world.
Second largest in the world.
Second largest in the world.
Quick.
Yeah, happened really quick. Here's how it happened so quick. They actually bought RCA's patents. So they bought them. Excuse me, I'm like spitting everywhere.
They bought the patents from RCA, guys. Watch out. There's a spit flags everywhere.
So anyways, they bought their patents, basically bought the intellectual property of RCA and started manufacturing, producing under those patents. And then they licensed through Samsung to manufacture LED panels, LCD panels for Samsung. So with those two things in mind, producing their own TVs, they were able to advance their production like rapidly, very rapidly.
For sure, yeah.
So they may not own all of what they're manufacturing, but they are manufacturing the most. So
Interesting.
long story short, they have been kind of pioneering mini LEDs. So Samsung is doing their micro LEDs.
Right.
And I honestly had to do a little more research on how they differ. I don't know how they differ, but what I can...
Micro?
Yeah. What's the difference, right?
Right.
So if we kind of compare 3 technologies out there right now, we have our standard LCD backlit LED TV.
Solid.
We have what everybody knows currently, which is OLED.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yep. Self-emissive pixels. So each individual pixel is self-emissive.
Amazing.
And then you have the mini LED along with like I put micro LED in there as well. Now,
For sure.
what they talk about with this is having more zones that dim. So you're able to get closer to OLED,
Right.
but be brighter.
Right. Interesting.
Which I don't really know why we need to be brighter as far as TVs. I mean, a lot of people talk about it as far as HDR goes. Like, oh, it needs to have. But realistically, like, if you go into a movie theater, the screen isn't freaking burning your retinas off, man.
Not
Like,
even close. It's actually
Yeah.
the exact opposite because there's so little ambient light in the room. I mean, unless you're watching a movie in a studio,
Yeah.
you may not need that many nits. How many nits do you need? Yeah.
Yeah,
that is the
well,
question.
right. So I don't know. I mean, I can look into the specs and figure that out, and what's the ideal, and da da da, and depending on your environment and the room you're in, and so on and so forth, the content you're watching, like,
Right.
yes, it makes sense. Like, but so essentially in 2021, the mini LED technology from TCL is being enhanced in some way. They didn't really say much about it, but they were really showcasing it. And with CES being all digital this year, you know, we're getting all these releases, these little press junkets. They're saying, hey, here you go. Here's some new tech. We're going to be launching. This is our slated time to show you what that is. So I was pretty excited, man, because this technology, let's say, for example, like a really good LCD TV has 500 dimmable zones in it. This is not mini LED, by the way, that I'm talking about.
Right.
Let's say it has 500. Something like this TCL's mini LED would have like thousands.
Wow.
Not maybe even tens of thousands.
Really?
You know, like
Yeah.
30, 40, 50,000 or more dimmable zones or LEDs that light. So
it's almost kind of like what had equivalently once been a pixel is now a zone with many pixels in it.
you're thinking OLED.
Right.
No, we're taking like the phosphorus panel in the front of the TV, and you have zones behind that phosphorus
Okay.
panel.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing with mini LED. They're just adding more zones, a lot more zones. I mean, there's just a little more technology to it, but they're claiming it's like the best thing. Now,
Best thing for the contrast ratio, maybe. What else?
I have a problem with this, man, because why aren't we just trying to figure out how to make OLED better?
Good question, right? I mean, that was a pretty short run. We jumped
It's
right
still
into
going.
OLED, and it's still going, but now they're going mini LED.
TCL's trying, man, and I think the reason why is they know that it's more expensive to manufacture OLED, and they're going to jump on the bandwagon of burn-in.
Gotcha.
So they're going to be
Yeah.
concerned about burn-in, although they are superior in picture quality in just about every way, and almost any other feature that matters, to be honest with you. Color
Gotcha.
accuracy. When big studios master their movies in their content, they're using a form of OLED technology. They're not using QLED. They're not using backlit. Maybe some are, but
Yeah.
OLED is like, that's it. That's where you want to be. So I don't know. I don't know why they're not going that route. They're going this route. Samsung's trying to jump on board. So I thought this would be a huge, huge announcement for this year.
For sure.
Because there's going to be a ton of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
There's
and
gonna be a
I
ton
can
of stuff
honestly
around
say, I think for TLC, I think
TCL.
TCL, exactly.
I know everyone wants to say TLC, dude.
TCL,
You're not the only one.
you deserve some TLC. Anyway,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. So I think the whole reasoning behind that is probably, like you had tapped into, to touch on the cost. You know, it really is. If it's that much more expensive to produce the OLED, then
Yeah.
they're going to be inclined to go, well, let's see what we can do without having to do that. Let's see
Yeah.
what we can do with exploring 8K with just the regular LEDs or the mini LEDs. Let's see how good we can get it, how competitive we can make a product,
Yeah.
and how low of a cost we can offer. Because if I'm not
That's a big
mistaken, I
thing.
think that full what is it here? It's a class 6 55 inch is only $650.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That's like their mid-range TV that they would compare to like a Q60 from Samsung.
for sure. Yeah.
And a 65 inch is $1,000 from Samsung.
There you go.
So if they're able to do a 65 inch and a similar TV for what, 650 you said?
Yeah, so 650 it looks like on the as my notes have it here. We have
Yeah.
55 inch class 6 is 650. The 75 inch 8 series
Jeez.
4K.
Oh, 8 series.
Yes.
Yeah.
1899.
Okay, but if you
for
go
75 inch.
that's a class 8. If you
Exactly.
compare that to like a Q70, Q80, those are at 75 inch, like $2,000 starting. So yeah,
So you could get effectively a lot more bang for your buck there.
you can.
Yeah.
I think they miss some features and they're not as well developed. Another thing we have to think about, and especially we talk about Sony's launches with TVs. The reason they're so good is because they've been doing it for so long, and they
yeah.
know how to calibrate their displays. They know how they have the technology, the microprocessors to operate their displays the way they want.
True.
They have studios that
Exactly.
produce content.
That's exactly the really the
Yeah.
most telling aspect behind it, because they have every function of this or every facet of it. They've got the cameras themselves that produce the images. They have the studios that are shooting, Hollywood pictures essentially.
Yeah.
And they have the TVs themselves that are being displayed on. So
Well,
now
it's
they
like-
have that full trifecta.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if you've seen, Vizio did an OLED this year, and they bought their panel from LG. And,
Smart.
yeah, it's smart.
They didn't want to screw it up.
But I literally watched that TV, the Vizio, next to an LG TV, powered it on, turned it both to like their vivid factory settings.
Right. Yep. Show it off for me, both of you.
Vizio was oversaturated. The color was way off. I mean, it was kind of terrible.
Wow.
And you're looking at it like, well, what is going on here?
Right.
It's because the components that Vizio's putting on, they're cheaping out. It's okay. They're a budget TV. They're supposed to. It's
true,
Like
right?
this is what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's going back to TCL, man. I just like to point that I'm not a huge supporter of TCL.
Sure.
I'm not, because I think I don't really go in for budget per se like I do.
Right.
But
Budget's important, but that's not your main focus. It's not just
yeah.
how inexpensive can I get.
Yeah.
How cheap.
No, I go for like try to be middle of the road, something that's quality for a good affordable price that's going to last me a long time.
Yes.
I don't know if TCL falls into that category yet for me, but with their mini LEDs, it's got me intrigued, man.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
Very intrigued. I will say that, and especially seeing the price point being very reasonable and really being a lot lower than some of the other major manufacturers out there.
Yeah.
As long as we don't have to be worried about a panel lottery, or anything relating to that,
Yeah.
I think it's very exciting news.
Yeah.
I do.
For sure.
And their quality seems to be improving. It does. Steadily.
Oh, I just smacked right into that. Yeah.
Right into the mic. Yes. Hi ho Silva.
Hi ho, Silver.
Right.
Okay.
What else we got here?
So we were a few minutes late, so we'll kind of roll over a little bit. Hey guys, if you've watched long enough, just hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when we go live. We're going to try again to do these every single week. We still have a little bit more to do here. We're going to try to do it every single Thursday. Honestly, we might adjust that schedule a bit depending on how our lives play out right now. Again, we got a couple guys here. Derek in the background's Matt over here, myself. Ken jumping in from time to time. He's not here right now. So just kind of the 3 to 4 of us to put this thing together on top of our regular daily lives. So anyways, you know, we're going to try to do this every week. We appreciate you guys that have supported us. Drop a like, a comment down below. If you do want to support the channel, we do have a couple ways that you can support us. You can support us through Super Chats. It's a great way to support the channel. We use all that money to, pay for lighting. We use it for new content. We use it for new gear that we can put as new content.
It makes us better. We just goes right back into the channel, and it helps us do what we like to do and help create better content for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah, and we don't, none of us take any money for this, right? Every little dime that we get from YouTube right now is going into creating the content, buying the microphones, buying the different lights that we had to get this live stream set up. So the other ways you can contribute, if you don't, maybe you're looking for a new product that we've reviewed on the channel, we have affiliate links. If you buy through those affiliate links or share them with your friends, have them watch the channel and buy that particular product from us after watching the review, we get a small little commission off that. It adds up for every little person that does buy. So that's a good way to support the channel and watch all the different videos we have. A lot of them are monetized, whether you're a premium subscriber to YouTube or just a non-premium subscriber. We get paid off that view. So just watch all our content.
It'd be awesome. And it's fun and it helps us out. And it's a great way to support us without having to do much.
Yeah. So we'd appreciate it. But the main reason I said that is because we appreciate you guys, and we want to keep doing this. So that's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So have you been to Vegas in the last, 10 years?
Oof, good question. The last 10 years.
Am I dating you right now?
Vegas trip?
Okay. How old are you, Matt? I have to go in the Wayback Machine.
Do you believe I was there to see Frank Sinatra? He was performing at the Peacock Lounge. Was drinking a whiskey, as I recall. It's been a long time, actually. No, the last time I was in Vegas, I was getting off a plane and then getting onto another plane, and I got to experience the slot machines of the Vegas airport.
Ah, yes.
And that was about it.
Yeah.
I admire. I haven't been back since then, so that's bucket list.
I was there not long ago, and I stayed at the Luxor.
The Luxor.
Luxor?
Was it luxurious?
It was actually really cool, man. The scariest part about all of it though is, and I just jump right into this. They have their balconies are open. It's this big pyramid that goes up.
Yeah.
And you circle the entire place through each hallway. Each hallway is open. It's a balcony.
Wow. Yeah.
Down to the main floor.
Wow. Yeah. It's a bit of a drop.
It's a drop. And
we're trusting all these people in Las Vegas?
We're trusting all these people.
Open bar?
So I talked about, I know. I talked about that when I was there.
Dude. Yeah.
I know. I was looking at it what the heck what is going on?
Yeah.
And we had talked about it. I was like, dude, how do people not fall off this? And literally 2 days after we left, there was a news report. Somebody fell off the. I shouldn't be laughing at it, but it's dude, come on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyways.
I've seen this coming a mile away, basically.
Yeah.
Having not been from Vegas showed up and went, boy, that looks like a hazard.
Yeah, this looks very dangerous. Anyways, while I was there, though, staying at the Luxor, they have an Esports Arena.
That is rad.
Yes.
I have not seen this. I have not known about this. I haven't experienced it. Tell me more.
Yes, but apparently there is a new Esports Arena, big deal, being launched in Shanghai.
When you say big, I think you mean big.
Yeah, I don't. How many thousand square? It was like 50,000, 500,000. How big was it?
500,000.
500,000
meters.
Oh my!
Is what the
meters?
Yeah, exactly.
Not feet.
That's the not feet, but that is the
meters. How many
more.
feet are in a meter?
It's like 5 million square feet. No, basically, that's the footprint of it. So it's going to be a huge building. It's sitting on a huge plot of land.
Yeah.
It's going to be expansive. It's going to be probably, presumably, the largest in the world.
Okay.
Of its kind.
Yeah, the thing's insane.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though, man. That means a lot because, like right now, streaming is so popular, gaming is so popular.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much going on in the world of technology, whether it's you know, for just esports or the entertainment related to esports, the culture that comes with esports. You know, it's not generally just one game.
Right.
It is somewhat of a lifestyle these days. So it makes sense.
People
Yeah.
are making careers out of it. It's a lifestyle. There's a huge backing. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of ad revenue behind it. There's all
Tons,
sorts of support
yeah.
behind it. And obviously, as we can see, if you're able to get the financing or funding to build a, ready for this, $898 million
Yeah, that's
facility.
pretty big. That's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, the lead investor on that is a company that just so happens to be the parent company of Edward Gaming.
Okay. Okay.
Interessante.
Interessante.
Yes, yes. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, they've got a lot of vested interest in the industry of gaming. Obviously, if they're producing games, they want, you know, more attention on it. They want more ability for gamers to get together in these sorts of conferences every year and be able to, you know, have some amazing matches and be able to have
They want to host. Yeah, they want to host.
Yeah.
Man. They want to be a part, and that's
Big
a big
time.
thing because then they can take in the ad revenue. They can sell all the space to the different vendors. They can be the prime attention for all of these competitions that are going on, these big events, these worldwide events that are happening.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as the younger population, younger generation gets older because I mean that's a huge part. Like we know, man, like generation underneath us is like in my generation, man, when we were a kid and we were asked, what do you want to do when you get older? It was something generic, you know, it was like not technology related.
Right.
It was
be an athlete or be a doctor or be an astronaut.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the astronaut might have been like right before us, but it was definitely, for me, it was like a pro athlete would be cool. Like that would have been cool. Or like, at the time, at that age, I probably would have said a pro gamer, but that would have been like, well, that's like on number 4 or 5 because the reality of becoming a pro gamer at the time was pretty unlikely. It's pretty like percentage-wise, it's pretty likely. I'm not saying it's going to happen to a lot of people, but it's pretty likely these days if you're a young kid and you're dedicated and you're really, really good at games, or at least you have a good personality, like you're going to make something out of that career.
100%. Yeah, there's so much more availability now. There's so much more opportunity. There's so much more of an industry and a following behind it now. There's actually a chance to do that. Whereas, like you mentioned, when we're growing up and we're teenagers, you hear of 1 or 2 people, or you hear of a tournament that's going on and somebody won 10 grand and that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And now you have people winning millions of dollars.
Millions, yeah.
There's as I found out, this is a $1.1 billion industry now.
That's pretty
Esports.
big, man.
That
That's
is
pretty
huge.
big.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's not like over 2 or 3 companies. That's like hundreds, and that doesn't even include like the actual game developers and all that.
Right.
Obviously, gaming is its own, but you're talking just esports, just esports, not the other equipment with it or other industries with it.
Right.
Just esports. That's pretty miraculous, man. That's a huge industry, and if it could grow bigger, it's even more realistic for somebody to get in and actually make this a career.
Exactly.
So that's really cool, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, interesting.
For sure. For all you gamers or wannabe gamers out there, don't give up. You've got more chance now than you've ever had. There's more opportunity, more availability, and you just might find yourself in Beijing playing at an esports arena.
Shanghai.
Pardon me. There's going to be one there too. I think there is actually. Is there already one in Beijing?
I don't know, man. There probably is.
You're talking like I haven't already been there.
Yeah, there's one in Vegas though.
Right. Oh, exactly.
Maybe we got to go check it out this summer.
I think we'll at least check out the one in Vegas.
It's gonna be like 115 degrees if we went in summer.
Yeah, that is true.
But they're not going to be open. We got to figure out when there's an event there.
Yeah.
You guys got to tell us when is there an event there. We're going to do some research on it. maybe there's an event coming up. We can do a little live stream from that event.
I'd love to do that.
They've got a full meal deal there, and we can go down, hang out, have some fun.
Yes.
Do all that good stuff.
Yes.
So, hey, I just want to cover, coming up on the channel, we've got a few videos launching over the next week or two. Some fun stuff. We're going to try to keep to a schedule. Thursdays for the live stream and Sunday or Monday for the regular video. So you guys have something to watch the beginning of the weekend,
Yeah.
the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
start your week with something new, end your week with something new.
Give you something to look forward to, but not keep you waiting too long.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we can keep that up for you. We appreciate you guys. This has pretty much been it for the news and the headlines. The news and the headlines. If there's any interesting topics that you didn't hear us talk about, put it in the comments below. We'd be happy to hear it. Otherwise, man, Matt, what do you say? Are we done? Are we?
I mean, we're pretty close to done. Here's one question to wrap it up.
Okay, question.
Did Call of Duty just kill the Warzone
Oh,
gameplay?
we did. Oh my. Oh my gosh. You're right.
Did they kill it? Did they ruin it? What's going on?
We
with
may
that?
have to wait till next week to find out.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Do
just
we
playing.
have-
We don't.
Do we have a... Yeah.
We got some time.
Okay. We have a minute.
Yeah,
We
man.
can cover this.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you guys, man. I haven't played Warzone in a really long time, and I'll say this because it's frustrating, man. I've been playing zombies because I am a zombies fanatic. I've always been a zombies fanatic. I'm all about the Easter eggs. All about getting big old hordes of zombies together and
Big old hordes.
taking them out. Taking them out. Pack a punch in that
Take 'em all
freaking
out.
gun. Going
Yeah.
to town.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
it.
There's
Love
something
it.
freeing about that, right? It's
There's-
kind of like a
dude.
painter paints and a gamer just mows down zombies.
Well, it's kind of a paint too.
Yeah,
You paint
yeah.
them,
Well,
but you
are
mow them
painting
down.
But
You
yeah,
mow 'em
right,
down.
exactly. Yeah, it's a twofer.
So, anyways, as I'm downloading the Cold War and I'm playing zombies, I pull up Warzone to jump in on a game with a few buddies using my
Naturally.
classic M14.
Love it.
Just standard, right? Like
Yeah.
that is my go-to. It's all equipped, fully leveled up, got all the attachments dialed into where I want it to be.
Prime.
And I'm getting slapped around, man. I'm getting slapped around.
What happened to that gun? What happened to the damage? What
The
happened
gun
to,
itself didn't have any changes, man, but
Uh-huh.
I am happy to hear. So there's the reason that I chose to say, did they kill Warzone gameplays? Because like it may have done some good, but not fully fixed the problem. So
Right.
what is it? The DMR
Yep.
was updated. There was a couple other
The dual pistols, I know they updated the dual pistols. as
dual
well.
pistols they updated.
Yep.
There was a couple SMGs that were updated. The Mac 10 was it? It was a
Yes.
Mac 10.
Yes.
And then we got a couple other problems or patches
Sure.
to a few OP weapons. So that's great and all, but did they go far enough? I was definitely reading some
That is a
comments that like
Did they not
yes,
nerf it enough?
did they not nerf it enough, right? Like that, yes, the headshot damage was reduced, but not the body shot damage, which is a huge deal because, you know, a couple shots to the head or a couple shots to the body, then right to the head, it takes away just as much damage.
Right.
For example, with like, I'm just going to generally say this, and I actually want to test this out, so we're going to do a video later on about this.
Yes.
But
Dot, dot, dot.
I could empty half a magazine into an opponent, about 30 rounds out of the M14 because I do the extended clip.
Sure.
The extra magazine has about 60 rounds in it. I think it's 60. I can empty like half of that into somebody else using something like the DMR or the Mac 10s or another weapon, right? Apparently, it's like any of the Cold War weapons essentially are right now heavy with damage.
Right.
So I can do like 30 rounds. Somebody else in half the time can take me out, full armor and everything. Just I'm down. So I stopped playing. I literally turned off my Warzone, and 2 days later, Derek sent me this. He's like, "Oh yeah, they put out this patch,
By the
man. They
way.
put out this
Yeah,
patch."
yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, great. This is why." I hadn't been paying attention to Warzone news because I'm playing zombies. Like I don't care.
Sure, yeah.
Playing zombies. And I jump back in, and I wonder why I'm just getting freaking smacked around, and it's because of these guns. I didn't want to play.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that update went live. What? How long? A couple days ago? 3, 4, 5 days ago? Oh, it was only like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wow. So I haven't played in probably 5 or 6 days. So that makes sense, man. So it went live a couple days ago. Big deal, man, because a lot of people were complaining. It was like 3 headshots with the DMR, right? Something like that. Like I think the DMR was the main culprit of this, but it was definitely
one headshot, one chest shot, boom, you're done.
yeah. It was pretty crazy, man.
Extreme. Yeah.
Pretty extreme, which is crazy. So, I mean, hey, maybe you can test it out. You guys can test it out. Tell us what you think. I want to do a video about this, though. Tell me, put it in the comments below. If you want to see a video of us, we want to test first-person shooter games and go through the entire weapon lineup stock and see the amount of damage it does to the opposing player. And we want to rate each gun in that game.
There you go.
That's pretty extensive. Like, it's a lot of work.
It's an undertaking. There'll be some editing involved.
There'll be just a little bit of editing involved. But I think it'd be kind of cool to check it out maybe on Cold War, zombies, multiplayer.
Yes.
And then we can do like Warzone. We can do Black Ops, multiplayer.
That's right.
We can do...
Now, does it affect the Warzone? Because I had heard that these changes were only made to Cold War, and that it wouldn't actually affect the weapons in Warzone.
It's the other way around.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
affects Warzone, and doesn't... Some of them were affected in multiplayer of Black Ops, but not all of them. And then the weapons actually got updated in Cold War. I think they put some new additions into Cold War from multiplayer. I don't know. Anyways, there's a couple changes.
Keep driving.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, there's a lot. There's a lot. You really have to read through every little bit of it to hear it. But if you're an avid player, you probably know exactly what that is. Big deal, though, because honestly, man, I played Warzone a lot. And I gave up the last time I played, man, because that M14 just didn't do it. It didn't do the trick.
No.
it was done.
It's just not. Come on. Yeah. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Just keep firing empty shots. Nothing's happening. What are we doing here? All right, turn around and dead. You know.
So if you can, give Derek a hand, guys.
Yeah.
He's in the background making this happen for us.
Give us some love.
Same with you guys. You guys are making this happen for us, so we appreciate you. And I think that's really it. We're going to close it out tonight and let you know that, dang, we got a list.
Hold on. Yeah.
I'll post this list for you guys, man. There's a list here. He put it in the notes, and I didn't even read it. I'm sorry, Derek. He's such a great guy.
Yeah.
We like him most of the time.
We're keeping him around.
We're keeping him around just a little bit longer. We'll keep him on the payroll for another week. We pay him in, what is that? Bubblicious?
Bubblicious and bandwidth.
In bandwidth? Yeah.
That's right.
Is it Bubblicious? Is that how do you get paid? You get paid in, what kind of gum is that?
I mean, I hope it's Bubblicious.
Okay.
I mean, it could be Bazooka,
Oh, Bazooka.
but
Okay.
then the flavor's gone in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
that's
I mean?
okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
We're only giving it to
But it's
Derek.
amazing. But that's true. Right. It keeps it coming back real quick.
Keeps him coming back.
Yeah.
We got to keep him coming back. Okay,
There you
guys.
go.
Hey, I appreciate you very much. We'll catch you in the next video, everybody. Have a good night.
Awesome. See you guys.